We want to honor a true pioneer in our community. Rosary Broxay Cooper moved to Portsmouth in 1938. During World War II, she got a job as a file clerk at the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard and later became a 20-ton crane operator while her husband was in the Army. Then Cooper attended a beautician school and opened a shop in her home. She went on to serve as president of Portsmouth's Veterans of Foreign Wars, becoming the state chairwoman. Women like Rosary helped pave the way for future generations, like Willette Kanan, who owns a salon in Nashua. Her journey is inspired by her roots.
When Willette Kanan walks down this street, she knows how hard she's worked to open this door.
I think it's incredible because it's been a dream that I've been dreaming of, and it finally came to pass.
For 10 years, this Nashua mother of 3 prayed for this spot on Ald Street.
So it was a God thing because I've been literally praying.
Finally, in 2018, she opened Beautiful Beginnings Salon. But to really understand how far she's come, you have to go back to her beginning.
I came from a family, my natural family of 8 siblings and stuff like that, and we didn't have much. So my mother would always say, you know, if your hair looked good, then it made you look like $1 million.
And that is priceless.
It takes the weight of the world off your shoulder, and you're able to, you know, put a little pep in your step because you got your hair did.
It's why she's dreamed of owning her own salon since she was a little girl. But at age 16, she thought that dream was cut short. She got pregnant with her oldest, Talisha.
I had to struggle because now not only am I responsible for myself, I'm responsible for my daughter. I never thought I would own a business, but look at me now.
Now she has 3 daughters and a marriage going on 3 decades. And Talisha, now an accomplished attorney, is the woman you see getting her hair done today.
She is, I know, very like a hero to my sisters and I, and my 2 sisters and I, and she's looked at very fondly in the community, and I'm just really proud. I'm proud she's my mom. She's probably crying back there.
There's a lot to be proud of. Willette believes she is one of the only Black owners of a brick-and-mortar business in Nashua. Specializing in textured hair is especially meaningful.
Not everybody want to do it because they say it's time-consuming or they're a little intimidated by our hair, but it's hair is hair. You just dive in and you just do it.
Following her family's legacy, she says her great-grandparents were among the first Black homeowners in Nashua.
He was the bishop on Toll Street, and a lot of people still remember him.
Ida and Bishop Esty Newman moved to the Gate City in 1942 for work at the old Copperswood treatment plant. They lived in the company's shanty town along the Merrimack River, a community of mostly Black families, until it was condemned in the 1950s. Forced to move out, some found that landlords refused to rent to them. So Willette's great-grandparents bought a home on Toll Street and opened their doors to others.
He would go around praying for people and having people come into their homes and just showing love and kindness.
They started New England Pentecostal Ministries, now in Pelham, where Willette is a minister today. She brings that to her salon.
Giving them a little bit of something to grasp onto, a little bit of hope, and that's what my grandparents taught us. Like, you know what? It may be bad, but just trust in God, and it will be okay.
It's a lesson Willette knows all too well, and she's hoping to lift up the next generation to show no matter your struggle, you can achieve your dreams.
Just like keep pressing and keep believing in your dreams, and you will reach them.
At a time when social and racial injustice are at the forefront of today's conversations, 2 local artists are highlighting change while inspiring unity in our neighborhoods. Tim Callery brings us their story.
For James Lee St. Just and Draco Knight, the art of music, drawing, painting, and design has been at the center of their lives since they were young.
Since then, it's just been a passion that just grew and grew as I got older and better with my skills. And, you know, till this day, I still love it, and I will forever do it until, you know, my time is done.
It's a therapeutic nature of it. Just like when I'm making it, I just find a lot of sense of enjoyment. I find a lot of peace throughout it.
We met with St. Just and Knight at the corner of Auburn and Union Streets in Manchester in front of a mural that St. Just worked on with another artist through a program that focuses on bringing new life to the Queen City.
Something that's very happy, that also shows a little bit of New Hampshire. That's why we kind of included the mountains view. And I also wanted to include hands because for me, I love to draw hands because I always felt like hands are kind of like a helping object.
St. Just continues that helping hand mantra in his work while mixing in other themes like equality and justice, which coincide with the Black Lives Matter movement. St. Just has attended rallies and vigils throughout the state and is using his art as another avenue for the movement.
As me as a black guy, there's a lot of information even I need to learn from the history to things are going on now that are silenced. So I think, just bringing out their awareness and just telling everybody, making sure everyone's on the same page is definitely will be the first step to getting to where we need to go.
For Knight, who focuses on music and clothing design, he too has incorporated the Black Lives Matter movement into his work.
I'm very introvert, but I express myself in extrovert ways. And so I didn't feel comfortable being out at the protests. But I said to myself, I'm going to find other ways to be able to protest within my own means. And so for me, that was through fashion.
Race can be a difficult topic to discuss, but St. Just and Knight say art is an outlet that brings everyone together and can help bring down walls that tend to stand tall during these discussions.
I really think that it inspires the next person to also draw their awareness in a way that they feel comfortable.
I can teach somebody something for what I learned, and that will, inspire them to teach someone else what they learn, and it will just continue and spread on.
To view more work by St. Just and Knight, you can visit our website, WMUR.com. In Manchester, Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
We've heard from people of color who grew up in New Hampshire and felt out of place. New Hampshire is one of the least racially diverse states in the nation, more than 90% white. And we want to take a deeper dive into this issue and how we make progress. Joining me in this virtual town hall are Dr. Dottie Morris. She is Associate Vice President for Institutional Diversity and Equity at Keene State College, and she is Vice Chair of the Governor's Council on Diversity and Inclusion. Nadine Thompson served as Dean of Multicultural Affairs at Phillips Exeter Academy and now owns Soul Purpose Beauty and Lifestyle. And Sudie Lett is Youth and Education Director at the Granite State Organizing Project and Manchester Central Boys basketball coach. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you.
Great to be here. Dr. Morris, I'd like to start with you. You are laser focused on making New Hampshire more diverse and inclusive. And I want to start with a question that might seem very basic, but why is it important for New Hampshire to become more diverse?
Well, as we know, when we have a more diverse population, we are able to tackle problems from multiple perspectives. And so I think that, again, in order for New Hampshire to stay in line with that particular idea, we need to diversify the state. And not only just have more people representing, but more perspectives being represented. And I think that what better state than New Hampshire to have this happen and to continue to happen at this time in our history.
That's a great point. And I do want to ask all of you, what are some of the unique challenges that people of color face living in a state that is 90% white? Sudie, we'll start with you.
For me personally, I had challenges growing up, being able to identify with role models, educators, teachers that looked like me or had a similar background as mine. Fortunately, I was able to overcome that with a strong base at home, but I can see that as one of the challenges many of the youth I work with face on a daily basis.
Especially for young people, not seeing someone in positions of power or in positions where they're making a difference. And how do you see yourself being reflected? So when you think about something like a curriculum in K through 12, are you reflecting, some of the images of people who look like me? And then what does that mean when I grow up? Do I feel like I can reach those heights as well?
You're constantly aware of being different. You don't see a lot of people that look like you. Getting goods and services can sometimes be a challenge. It's getting a lot better, than when I came here 30 years ago. It's a lot better. You can go into larger cities like Manchester now and get your hair done, or find a store that sells, ethnic foods. But the challenge, I think a lot of it is just feeling isolated. So really creating an environment where people feel like they're getting their needs met.
Sure. So, and it sounds like listening to each other. What are those needs? And then working together to meet them is really important too. Sudi, I want to ask you, what to you are some of the biggest barriers to making the Granite State more inclusive, and what can all of us do to try to overcome those?
Man, that's a tough question.
We could talk for a while about this, I'm sure.
That's a tough one. I think that we need to open our minds up culturally and not get locked into certain things, meaning like, maybe like brown people don't swim or don't hike, or, they're more like city people and, we're more rural. I think that I have family members that are from the city, and they don't mind coming here for a week at a time to get some fresh air, to broaden the perspective, to be able to entice the people to come here, and be able to have enough support and enough of the things that they like around to keep them here.
Maybe the silver lining in the cloud in New Hampshire is that, there isn't as much violence and shootings and that kind of thing, and even Black on Black crime. Like any other Black mother, when when I'm going to the grocery store and I see the blue light circling, I can feel my anxiety go up. I'm always looking to see, is it my son? Is it another young Black male that I know? Are they in trouble? And I get really nervous whenever he leaves. So that's an ongoing struggle, but I don't know if it'd be any different if I was living in Chicago.
It's more than just looking at individual acts of racism or oppression, but it's looking at a whole system that we might need to shift a bit, or we might need to just examine it, to be honest with ourselves. And so that's not a direct way of pulling people in, but it does help with retention. So when people come here, and they have a good experience, they'll want to stay.
Thank all of you so much for your time. This was a great conversation. I learned a lot. I hope that viewers at home did too. And to see more from this conversation, you can head to WMUR.com. Thank you.
Thank you.
Making sure everyone feels loved and included. Still to come, one local business owner's heartfelt mission and the changes she hopes to see to a New Hampshire law.